43. I live in Michigan. And when I first met Leah, I was actually just joining that page of her food sensitivity group. At that point, I was researching those Everlywell tests because I really just felt super lost in the medical world. Went to
Yeah.
several specialists, family doctors, gastroenterologists. It was ridiculous. And it was years and years of dealing with it. And as I've gotten older, symptoms have only manifested and gotten worse. I
Mhm.
worse to a point that it affected not just my stomach or my overall system, it was affecting my skin, it was affecting my body and how it reacted, how it felt, how I slept at night. I mean, it was a whole system effect. And you would explain this to a doctor, and they would just look at you like they had no idea what you were talking about. Because if they didn't have that magic pill that it prescribed to you, it was basically, well, I think you just need to take something with anxiety, or maybe you need to talk to a therapist. It was always centered around my mental state of health versus something physical that was happening. So I really was at my last strain and just didn't know where to turn. So going on your Facebook page was just such a godsend. And I think it was totally fate taking its course because I knew I was just at the end of where I could go with dealing with my symptoms.
It's a big part of the healing process is to find someone who can kind of hear you and hear where you're at. So yeah, it's such a common story, I think. Like you've had the workup, blood work looks good, so you must be fine. You've got to
Yeah,
be
I had
fine. And you're like,
several
I do not
colonoscopies.
feel fine.
Right. Several colonoscopies, everything looked fine. You went
Yeah.
and did all the testing, everything looked fine. And it finally, of course, I think it becomes a mental health issue because you literally go nuts thinking, this is in my head. Like I'm going through these symptoms and I can see it and I can feel it, but they're telling me I'm okay. So you start to believe it. You really do.
I know you've seen some really amazing changes in your life. So what are you seeing and feeling that's different for you? What shifts have happened? Yeah, anything along that lines that you want to talk a little bit about would be awesome.
My whole life has changed. I mean, literally. And that
Mm.
sounds so crazy,
That
but
sounds
I went from someone who
amazing.
felt like every day you woke up and you would run to the bathroom. I would go to work crying in pain. My stomach hurt so bad. And I had to go to work and act like everything was fine. Or
Right.
you would be the person that would find where a bathroom was that no one would go to in your building because you were so embarrassed the fact that you had nonstop stomach problems. And I'm sure my family was tired of hearing me complain that my stomach hurt. It caused anxiety because you knew it was coming, you felt it, you didn't want to go places. I didn't want to go out with my friends or go away on the weekend. I was so nervous about that. So it totally changed my life. And I can say a lot of the people I know, especially on your Facebook page, are on that point where I was looking at those at home tests or looking at what your program was. And my conclusion ultimately was I'm tired of, so you're going to go get this test and it's going to come back and tell you, well, it could be all of these. Well, that's what your doctor tells you. It could be all of this, but it might not be. So where do you start again? I didn't want to be back at that point where I'm in this clueless area in the dark and I have to try to figure this out myself. I wanted someone to truly be there to commiserate with me and understand where I was coming from and guide me down that path. And that's exactly what you did.
To hear you say that your whole life has changed just feels like I got goosebumps, it feels that feels so strong and so powerful. And like that you aren't having to worry about those things every day is just incredible. And I am here for guidance, but you are the one who put in the work, you put in the time. So I think it's really important to honor that.
Once you figure it out and you know how it feels good to feel this good, why would you sabotage yourself?
So do you want to
Absolutely.
tell a little bit about your Florida trip? I feel like that was a big moment.
Just went to Florida in the middle of January to Universal. So you're talking about a big theme park and what's there? Just unhealthy foods galore. You can prepare as much as you try to, but when you're in the moment, there's not much you can do. Luckily, I was so thankful that I went ahead and booked the restaurants ahead of time and I spent the time to prepare, knowing we were going to have to sit down and eat nice meals. We couldn't go to fast food. And I spent the trip feeling great. And I actually lost weight because of it. This was something that if I was going to do this, I wanted to put the effort in to do it right because I wanted to change how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And the fact that I sleep the best I've ever slept, I actually dream now, which is so weird to me.
It's
So,
awesome.
there's a big difference with that. And I think the
Wow.
biggest thing with you is learning how to take some time, which I'm still working on taking time for myself, but just taking that moment to read how your body's feeling. And I give it that. Like if I'm feeling tired, I go to bed early. I'm not pushing myself beyond my limits.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge anxiety helper. And I think that's a big piece today that no one listens to their body like they should be.
That is the tool that I think helps people the most, is really learning how to check in and be like, how do these foods affect me? How do these activities affect me when I push myself, like you're saying? How does that affect me?
Say overall, this has been a great helping process. Even my doctor remarked on it. I went and saw him. I think I was in the middle of working with you. He remarked at how like my weight was down, my blood pressure was down.
Yeah. Oh,
There was
good.
a lot of factors that had changed. So he could just see the difference in just the first month.
And I love that your doctor is seeing those things, that's like physical evidence in such a short amount of time. Like you dropped a decent amount of weight,
About
and
15 pounds. Yeah.
15
And I
pounds.
think
That's
a lot of it was
incredible.
inflammation.
Well, do you have any like words of wisdom for other women who are feeling, kind of where you were at the beginning, maybe feeling stuck, a little bit hopeless? They don't know what to do, they don't know where to go. Do you have anything that might be helpful for them to hear?
It's not hopeless. It's just a process. If they're literally willing to make changes in their lifestyle, it can work, but it takes time and it does take effort. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I was able to do the program with you because it made the process so much easier. And having that weight to lean on, someone that could, support me through it, I think that's just a huge key. I think trying to do it on your own, it's like dieting on your own. How do you start? Where do you go? Where do you go for support?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have that connection where you can talk with someone and have them think things through. Because there was a few times where I just couldn't figure out what was one of the sticking points that was causing my problems. And you were able to sit down with me and go through things. And we were able to figure it out together. It seems like it's an expensive amount of money, but when you think about how much have you spent in the years and years of going through it, I just can't even fathom the amount of time too. I
Yeah.
was done with the time factor. I think that was my biggest push. I was
Yeah.
done spending the time finding another specialist, going to another doctor, starting the whole thing over. I I just it's too precious for that.